What is up, people? Welcome to the #1 channel in East and Central Africa that brings you great and epic motorcycle content many have come to love. Now do consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you're updated whenever we post a new episode. Now, I had the opportune chance, right, and the privilege of riding one of the new bikes that are from a new dealership that had just opened up in Kenya, and they're called Xingling Motorcycle Kenya. Do check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter if they are there. I'm not quite sure, but on Facebook I know they definitely are. They also sell the bikes from the likes of the V6, the H6, ranging from 200 to 250cc bikes. And what it is on the street, as they are bringing down the Tekken bikes, which are actually is very being sought after by some of you people. I know there's a lot of speculations, especially from the Taro GP, no, not from the Taro GP, but from the Nairobi Power Bikes, who are their direct competitors. So there's kind of a healthy beef going on, healthy competition. I really am interested to see how this plays out. So Xingling Motorcycle Kenya are very new in the market, and they're providing bikes to the now growing demand of bikes in the country. Now, like I said, there is a special deal for you if you are going to purchase this bike. So all you have to do is just stick around till the end of the video in order to find out. Now, before I continue, I do want to point out that these are my own comments and these are my own ideals and opinions. So, and this video is actually not sponsored by anyone. I was just given a bike to ride. And anyway, if somebody gives you a bike, who are you to say no? Especially if you love bikes the way that I do. So, like I said, so take my truth with a grain of salt. And if you want to actually know if the bike is as I say it is, do check them out. Their dealership, they are more than welcome to show you the bikes. You can always sit on them. You can always have the texture and the feel of the bike in itself. Even if you're lucky enough, maybe you can even get a test ride. So, like I said, my own opinions. So I had the chance to ride the H6 250cc, which also happened to be white. It was a very interesting color to ride. It did have it was more pronounced on the road, but we'll get into that a bit later. I did love the bike, or I loved the color rather, as it made the bike more appealing. The bike is a single cylinder again, just like the Taro GP. They do share the same engine, the Zhongsheng engine that has come to be known. Now, if you're interested to see the technical details of the engine from the Taro GP, they do share the same engine. Like I said, you can always check the video somewhere on the screen or even in the description box below. So moving on, when I reviewed the Taro GP, I didn't get quite as much experience on the road to really test the bike. However, on this one, I got the opportunity to ride it quite some distance and back, so I do have a good idea of the capability of the bike itself and what I really liked and disliked about the bike. Now, if you want more specifics, like I said, the video will be in the description box below or somewhere on the screen. Now, the bike on the road is quite stable and very comfortable with the overall design. Like on the Taro GP, they do have the same fairing system, and the accommodation, rather the seating posture, is very accommodative and in tune with you as a rider. Now, the handlebars are set quite high compared to any other fully fledged sport bike, but with this one you do get the comfort added to it, so you really don't have to strain too much on the handlebars. You don't feel the weight too much. It's like a good comparable bike would be the Kawasaki Ninja 300 or even the ZMR. You know how the posture is not that way too lean forward? That's actually what the posture felt like to me. The seat, however, it was comfortable, but I do suspect as you accumulate more miles on it, the seat will get harder, but hey, that's always an easy fix. You can always switch up the cushions, or even if you can always add up those aftermarket seat cushions that you can add in order to add the comfort on your bike. Speaking of performance, the bike performed better than I expected on the road. Although it did lack in a bit of faster acceleration, it did compensate with it with a rather good high speed. I was able to cruise at around 110 kilometers per hour on top gear. However, I did find myself downshifting quite a lot in order to get to where that power band is. Now, the best optimum RPM I did find the bike was very much comfortable. It was about 6,000 to 7,000 RPM. The engine didn't quite struggle as much, but it was quite accommodative actually. For 17 horsepower, I think this is a very good bike to really even start on. Now, the dash is something that I would really want to talk about. Now, the combination with the big analog gauges and the small screen made it very easy for me to see and understand things, know where the RPMs are, and and any other information that I needed to know. One thing that I did note was I did feel as if the RPM gauge was some bit of delay, but maybe I was just seeing things. But another thing to point out was the exhaust note on this bike is quite something to actually look out for. So here's a sound clip of the exhaust note of the bike. That's the wheel, man. Now sound amazing despite it being a single. Maybe in a parking lot or even somewhere enclosed, it does sound like a big boy bike. Some of the things that I really loved about the bike was its overall presence, whether it was in the parking lot or whether I was riding it on the road. This is the kind of bike ideal for anyone really who wants a sport bike but is really on a budget. Now if looks and glams are all you seek, then this is actually the bike for you. I wouldn't really be worried if someone just fresh out of the riding school bought this bike, because it really has decent power, enough not to even get you in trouble, and also it does inspire a lot of confidence. The other thing I really enjoyed about the bike is that it comes with an inbuilt alarm system, which doubles also as a keyless ignition system, although it does operate still on a key. Now the bike can be switched on and off and even started from a push of a button. However, the ignition system only starts the bike if it's in neutral. Now this is something that I did find very interesting. It's not by far the best, but every bit of security is always welcomed. Now much like the Taro GP, I really disliked the feel of the fairings. They did feel quite delicate and susceptible to damage. Actually, for the price you are getting something worth your pay, or worth every penny that you're actually taking the bike for. I think the bike does retail from about 270,000 to almost 325,000 Kenya shillings, depending on the type and the brand of the bike that you are taking. If you do fear about crashing up your bike or even dropping your bike, you need not worry, because the dealers can actually install for you the crash bobbins if you want at the time of purchase. And in as much as the alarm system is integrated, it did have some kind of a drawbacks, which brings me to what I did not like about the bike. If the bike is not fully in neutral, the bike could easily start to roll, and it wouldn't stop until you switched off the bike manually or with a key, or even if you press the button. Sometimes even both, it's either the key or the button. With a few adjustments to the clutch system or the clutch cable, that should definitely take away that problem. Despite its slow start nature, the bike didn't seem to actually consume as much. For 17 horsepower, it's quite decent for everyday commuting, the occasional traveling for about, I would say, for maybe 3 to 4 hours on the road of continuous riding. But do expect to have some body aches after, especially with a rather steep radar triangle. This is the bike I would really advocate that you go and check out and maybe even judge for yourself. I had a lot of fun riding the bike, and so again, a big thanks to Xingling Motorcycles Kenya. I'm very much interested to see how the competition will fare now that Nairobi Power Bikes do have a direct competitor. Tell me your thoughts about the bike. Is this something that you'd be very much interested in seeing? Just like I promised at the beginning of the video, the dealership are kind enough to actually offer you a deal. So if you use the code RTGH2021, you will be getting 5,000 shillings off your total purchase of the bike, and also you'll be getting a fuel tank of gas, rather fuel tank of fuel. Now, so head on out there and go and say that Rico sent you and get yourself 5,000 shillings off. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video all the way till the end. A big shout out to Xingling Motorcycle Kenya also for the opportunity to be riding their bikes. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, ride safe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.